Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Arsenal Show. Do the intro and get into it. Yes, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Arsenal Show. And as you can see, I got Neil with me as always. Neil, how you doing?
Hey James, good morning. How are you? I'm not too bad. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me on. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Absolute pleasure to have you back here as well. And as you can see, we're one down. Melvyn has had a slight technical difficulty again, but hopefully we can get him back, and then we can get him on here and chatting away as well. Because as I keep saying, the record breakers, the three of us, and to help you, Neil, as always, it's been 3 weeks, three of the most viewed of all time. So you keep telling me quads on. I know it. Hopefully, it's 2 quads on. We can get 4 4 weeks in a row best streams, and then all 4
Why not?
trophies
Why
as
not,
well.
James?
And
Why not?
look who's here, bright and early as always. There he is, the top man, the main man. Thank you, Hensei. Much
Okay, so
appreciated. So yeah, Neil, going into it, we had Mansfield and Leverkusen this week. Mansfield away in the FA Cup right after we basically did the stream last week. It was straight off here and then straight into a game pretty much. But yeah, Arsenal, we made 9 changes to that side that beat Brighton in the Premier League. And we then went to a 3-4-3 formation. I mean, when that come out, I don't think any of us had a clip. We were all messaging each other going, well, who's playing there? But if he's playing there, then who's playing there? But if he's doing this, what's he doing? We haven't done that for a while, playing 3 at the back. I mean, Kepa, Salmon, Mosquera, and Calafiori was the back line. We had Madwecki and Martinelli. I don't know if they were wingers or if they were wing backs. You had Norgard and Havertz as central midfielders, and then Trossard and Dowman playing just off Gabriel Jesus up top. But I know that you're not a big fan of lineup questions, but sadly Melvyn isn't here. What did you firstly make of the lineup when it was announced and come out? And also, what did you think in terms of what we were doing? Were you just as confused, or you were like, look, it's Mansfield, it's the cup, shut up, and we'll just roll with it?
actually, to be fair, I think what you just said at the end there was probably more how I felt. I just thought, look, it's a cup game. I don't think it was showing any disrespect to them at all. I think we were just trying something very different. I guess in terms of levels, we could maybe allow ourselves that little bit of that flexibility to do so. For me, I've got to be honest. I wasn't so. I was a bit confused because you guys were talking about it, and then obviously then I start in my own head start asking questions. However, I kind of recognised quite quickly, which is quite unusual for me, that it looks like it's a 3 at the back. Which is, I was like, oh, where did I figure that out? But that's the only plausible way you could see it. But the overriding thing for me, James, is the fact that Norgard was getting a start because I absolutely love him. And of course, my man, the little man, well, not a little man, but the little man in age, Doberman. And I thought that's fantastic that they're getting games and they can showcase what they can do. And of course, the latter was absolutely superb, as we saw. And then and the other thing that I was thinking that, look, Eze's got another start, make sure that he makes the most of it. I think for me, the overriding thing was start some of the players that don't get a regular chance to showcase their skills have got a great opportunity here. I know it's Mansfield, however, you could only play what's in front of you and just do your thing. It was never going to be an easy time. I was a bit naughty with my prediction. I was only messing around. I mean, it was stupid, but I think you know, when you go away to these cup games, it's especially when they're a smaller club, and I'm so pleased that they get the opportunity. By the way, so pleased for them, and they're going to give it a go. And I always think that the first 20-25 minutes is going to be a bit sketchy. Doesn't matter who you are. So I was pleased that these guys got a chance to show us what they can do. And that's how I felt initially, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And we've got Melvyn back, so hopefully this is all kicking and we're all singing and dancing. Melvyn, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Told you, router on and off.
Yeah, I think that's done the trick. Just turn it off and turn it back on again.
I put 6 months in the slot, boys. All right, that's what happened.
But yeah, I don't know if you were catching that, Melvyn.
I was listening on the other device. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Obviously went through the lineup and the system change there, but I'll throw the second question to you, Melvyn. Arsenal become the first Premier League side to field two 16-year-olds in Salmon and Max Dowman for a manager that gets critiqued on his handling of young players. Mikel Arteta's played our youngest ever in the league, our youngest ever in the FA Cup, our youngest ever in the Carabao Cup, and our youngest ever in the FA Cup this season. And the Champions League. So what do you make of that, Melvyn? What did you think of the two 16-year-olds starting?
Well, Dowman's really unbelievable, jewel in the crown, isn't it, at the moment? I mean, since his cup. I mean, first time I've seen, obviously, his first performance in the main team since he's been injured, and he looked like he's put on about a stone. So he's obviously found a good restaurant somewhere. But I mean, if he built, I mean, he's not going to get pushed off the ball. He never got pushed off the ball a lot, really, even though it's slight. He's just because he's so special. You can't think about the other one, the centre half, because this guy is so good. All your focus was on him. But Salmon, I mean, I've seen bits of him on playing for, and he's playing for the under-19s, and he's far too good for that. Though he's only 16. I mean, I'll give it another year or two, he could be, knocking on the door, really good. And Dowman, I mean, just every time he gets the ball, you expect something. I suppose if there is what he has to improve on, obviously, is his finishing. But none of our players can finish at the moment, so he's in the right team. But no, he's something special. He's got an arrogance about him. He's got this. He just is, and he's got ice in his veins. It's great. I mean, he's the best 16-year-old to wear an Arsenal shirt, in my opinion, since Fabregas. I really think that, and let's just hope the manager treats him the right way. Slowly. All of a sudden, he's in there all the time, because he is something special. And like someone said the other day, he could be the one that you bring on with 20 minutes to go to try something different, because he's unknown. I mean, none of the defenders know what he's going to do, even if they study it for 12 years. So he's just so good. He's got everything. So very cool on the ball. He did something.
Oh, I think we've lost him again.
Oh no, it was so
yeah, well. it was. He was in full flow.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You just cut out right at the end there.
All right, but I want to say, Salmon had a guy. He carried the ball for like 50 yards with a guy trying to hit him the whole way, and a 16-year-old to hold off a player like that in a strong Mansfield team. Fantastic. It's it's when you're a forward, it's difficult to get past players. We know that. But if you've got someone, you're carrying the ball as a defender, and someone's trying to hit you the whole time, and you just carry on, take it, go a few more yards and push it. I thought for Salmon that was superb. Just shows he's got the mentality, not the panic, which some of our players sometimes do. So no, I enjoyed the game as a cup tie. It was brilliant. I mean, obviously we shouldn't be entertaining people if we live in a certain people, but we're not allowed to entertain if you listen to some of the mainstream media. But no, it was one of the. I haven't seen many. I must have seen about those 10, 12 FA Cup ties live this year, all the way through, and I think that was one of the best ones. It was a proper old English FA Cup tie. That was. It was brilliant, and no one made much fuss about it being that good, did they? But I thought it was.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, hostile atmosphere, Neil, which always makes for a good game when you've got one, and a tricky pitch as well. But yeah, like Melvyn said there, Arsenal started really well. We had a great chance from Dowman, who capitalised on the Mansfield goalkeeper playing out for the back, but like Melvyn said, he just couldn't get his finishing right. Then Mansfield put us under a bit. Kepa had to make a great save, and then I think it was Oates for Mansfield right after. We failed to clear properly. We just tried to play out of our own box again, which even against sides in League One, League Two, I think they were League One, you can't play out your own box against anybody. Don't try and dribble out your own box against whoever it is, because it never works well. And basically, yeah, let them in, breathe life into them like we tend to do at the moment against anybody that we play. But then sort of come back in. Madueke had a chance where, again, he nearly scored a corner. That one hit the bar this time, unlike the one at Leeds. And 41 minutes in, Arsenal finally got the breakthrough from Madueke. He has an initial chance. It's a lovely layoff from Havertz. I think people are forgetting, actually, in the build-up to the goal. Havertz just, as he normally does, he's facing back to goal. Just nice little flick with his foot. There you go, Madueke. And he fired a shot. It got saved. Martinelli then laid it back onto him, and he's just absolutely rattled one on the curl, isn't he? And 100 goals for the season from the most boring squad in England. What did you make of that one, Neil?
Firstly, I just want to quickly, on the back of what Melvyn said, I totally agree with him. I enjoyed every second of that game, even when they scored, believe it or not. I don't know, you guys were probably thinking, what's he doing in the chat? You guys were like, okay, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. This is just brilliant. I was so happy for them. I know it's Arsenal. Of course, I'm always going to back our team 150%. But the point is, I was just so happy for an underdog to actually play football the proper way. One of the few teams, as Melvyn said, that has played the proper way against us. I actually think that is my most favourite game I've seen all season. I'm not even joking. I mean, as much as I love walloping Spurs 4-1 twice, I actually felt happy to watch that game because I thought this is my love affair for the FA Cup. I love the FA Cup for this reason, that literally any team, even in the non-leagues, they can get a chance, just a chance. And it does them so much good financially, and they get some exposure. And it's just a dream come true for the fans and the players. And, it's just a dream come true for them. So for that reason, the fact that they played football, I thought it was a great, great day, by the way. So I wanted to say at the beginning, and I completely forgot. My apologies, but I wanted to give them credit. But Melvyn, you reminded me. Thank you for that. It was a fantastic game, by the way. And that goal, wow. It was just, for me, it was so silky smooth, the way he delivered it and the way it finished and the way it went in. It was just a wonderful first touch goal, I think. It was beautiful. I think it's one of my favourite goals that he scored, to be fair, because of the connection. It was just so perfect. I don't think any goalkeeper in the world would be able to stop that. It was brilliant. So, and I think it probably came at the right. We always say that if they're going to score a goal, either score it right before half-time or just after half-time. So from our perspective, at that moment in time, it came at the right time, if that made sense. But it was a great, great finish. And I think you're right. A lot of people do forget that from the big initial strike, Havertz laid one off beautifully, and that's what he does. Just a fantastic and much needed player that we need till the end of the season now to stay fit. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. And Melvyn, what about yourself? I bet you scored a few nice finishes like that in your time as well. So what did you make of
so many, especially Sabutio. With that gut, with Madueke, he's a bit of a strange player. He either hits the goal like that or he hits the corner flag if he's lucky. He seems to miss hit the ball completely sometimes. Some of the crosses he does skew whiff. It's just like, other times it's perfect. I mean, he's someone that we might come on to it later. He might be a starter now. He was the number 2. He was the person if the main actor gets was it the understudy. He was the understudy to the actor. He may not be an understudy anymore because he's actually, every time he comes on, he does something. And I thought what was quite good about him, I think it wasn't this game, sorry, it was the other game he came on, which he did very well in the midweek. If you notice, he came on, the first thing he did is track back and get the ball near our penalty box. He's added that to his game. No, it was a brilliant goal, beautifully struck. I mean, he should take that boot and put it in a frame because he never hit a ball like that again. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I should imagine that when he hit it, he knew it was going in straight away. He was like, he should have turned away and taken his cigar out, go, yeah, right, it's going in a second, that one. No, fabulous. And he's a joy. He does make strange decisions, though. He does the hard bit sometimes and not the easy bit. But all in all, is a very good signing for us, which I wasn't sure about when I first knew about him. When I first saw it, Chelsea bought him, and he played a few games. And I noticed it because of his headband. I thought he was on the right wing for them. I thought, God, he's a bit special, that guy. I thought they bought him from abroad. I'd never heard of him, you see. I didn't realise he was an English guy. I thought he's good. And then all of a sudden, you don't hear about him anymore. And you forget. Chelsea bought so many wingers. I mean, they've run out of shirts, haven't they? So it's very difficult for me to keep touch with Chelsea, who plays from and who doesn't, who's out on loan, who's left them. But I remember first when I first saw him, he looks a bit good, which is a shame playing for Chelsea. But we've got him. He's obviously a new lease of life. And sometimes players need that. And no, it's good. He's got the right attitude as well. It's got a little bit of still about him as well. A bit of arrogance and still, which sometimes you need. And as I say, he may not, I reckon, the way things are going, he might have to take that understudy off his door, that label.
Yeah, no, very, very good point. And I take what you say about Madwecki as well, both of you. I mean, Dad, bless him, he always says to me, he's the only guy I know that goes from Maradona to Madonna in seconds. He said, the way he said he does all this, and then when it gets to the final action, he's like, oh no, there he is. But no, he's a really. I was really happy when we signed him. I know, Neil, we had this conversation midweek. I had a few people try and call me out about him when we signed him, and I had to bring the old receipts up from when the boy was 17 years old, or when he played for PSV against us in the Europa League. And I said, bloody hell, this lad here, get him in as an understudy to Saka now, because he's superb. And then he ended up at Chelsea. But yeah, going back on something that you said earlier, Neil, and it makes a good point for you now. Second half begins, and you always say get one right after or get one before. 49 minutes into the game, and it's 1-1. Marley Salmon, bless him, he underhit a back pass. I mean, it's a really sticky pitch. It's not a good pitch at all. Mosquera, for me, though, he's got two opportunities to engage. He's got the first one where he can stop the guy, but he let him run past him. And then he's matched him for pace, but he's not put the tackle in until he's shot the ball. And then also, if I can be a little bit extra critical as well, having played in goal as a young man, you don't let shots right under your arms, Kepa. I thought he could have bailed him out as well. I thought he did not do very well there either. But as always with Arsenal, someone makes a mistake. Can that person bail him out? No. Can the other person bail him out? No. So 3 mistakes here. Obviously, like you said, you were happy because you were like, oh, this is exciting and it makes a good tie. But yeah, talk to me about it, Neil.
Yeah, I didn't shed, so this just make that get it very clear. But no,
we're not them lot fans. We don't cheer opposition goals. Yeah, exactly. We're not doing the Poznan when Mansfield score. Yeah.
No. I felt sorry for the youngster. I think when I've seen him play, I think I've seen him play once or twice live as well this season. I can't remember. I was so impressed by him. I thought so impressed in the sense that he's just confident. It's for someone so young to show that much of confidence and in a way exuberance as well. I love it. I like that. I think that's what you need in a footballer. So it was quite an uncharacteristic mistake, and look, I know we can talk about states of pitches and things, but I don't want to make excuses. I don't think at any age, whoever you are, I mean, I know we talk about players like Doberman and Salmon and Fabregas all being very young and so good when they've come on, but you have the way the academy is so strict, so strict. These players are very, very good from a young age. I mean, they're exceptional. They otherwise they will not be getting into this academy. I remember one of my friends' sons many years ago tried, and he's a damn good footballer. I've seen him play. He was a youngster. He had really very a talent which was up there. And he couldn't get anywhere near the academy. And even he said at that young age, God, those kids are unbelievable. You think I'm good? These kids are unbelievable. So you're already special anyway. So when you're playing for the senior team, I don't want to start making the pitches an excuse or anything. I think he's just made a mistake. He's realised it straight away. You could see his reaction when the goal was actually scored. I felt for him, but again, it's like you said, Mosquito is someone that I have. I've just spoken so much. How can you say positives about the guy? I've been so happy to see someone like him walk into this team and almost be, if not as good as Silly, but sometimes probably even eclipsing him. And I don't know what happened. I just think he has a brain fart. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he's doing. I'm not sure if he's panicked, but I've noticed in the last couple of games I've seen him, he's not been himself. So maybe he's having a bit of a blip and he's just got to snap out of that, because we need you. We need you for this run-in. We're still in 4 competitions and we need every single player we've got. And we've got to sit and we've got to have them at their strength. So I hope James and Melvyn, he puts it behind him very quickly, because he did not do well at all, as you said. I don't need to reiterate it. You've described it well. And then it's I guess Kepa as well. So it was a trio of errors, I think. There, we can't call them not the Holy Trinity. It's the opposite, I'm afraid, this time. And it was a shame, because obviously, we'd scored the goal, as you said before. They did it after, and it just gave them a lease of life. And I thought at one point they could bag another here. So great goal for them, not so for us. But those two need to learn very, very quickly and get out of that, get it out of their heads, because we need them.
Yeah, and I thought it was very good after the game. I know I'm jumping a bit ahead here, but at the final whistle, Kepa was the first. He just had a salmon round his arm the whole time, and that's the thing for me is I'm like, look, he's 16 years old. He's made a mistake. Yeah, but he's going to learn from it. He probably, he won't make. Hopefully, he won't make another one. So I thought some of the reaction to it was very OTT. I'm like, and I know people go, "Oh yeah, but the family." I'm like, it's not even that. I'm like, come on, he's a 16-year-old boy. Like, leave it off. Like, let's have a word with us.
Tony Adams, the great man, made mistakes when he was young. He made loads of mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Arteta, Melvyn. He obviously turned to the bench after this one, and Eze come on, and 4 minutes after he come on, again, it's another swivel on the edge of the area, and he absolutely smashed this. I don't think I've seen someone hit a ball as hard as that since Lucas Podolski was at the club. And but yeah, that one went in the top corner for 2-1. What did you make of that one after the Madwecki one as well?
It wasn't just a shot on the swivel. He pushed it, made the space, looked like he was going to shoot in, and then whacked it. I mean, for me, Eze, a little bit frustrating, but I love watching him play for us. I just think any time he's going to explode. I think that he's been a bit unlucky that he's played a few games when the rest of the team ain't been playing too well, and he's not the type of player. He's the type of player that needs a bit of help as well. He's great in a team. Though he's a bit of an individualist, he needs players around him. If he doesn't get it, he's not getting the ball, A. If he's been given balls behind him, B, or he's not, it doesn't help. When he's in full flow, he's amazing. His touch, his movement, the way he gets around players, he's very strong. I want to see him play all the time for us. I don't want him as a bit part player. He's too good for that. I really want him. I'm not saying we should build a team around him. No, I'm just saying that we should find a spot for him in our starting 11 every game. I think he's phenomenal. And I think it's all to do, I'm not saying with confidence with him, but players, they play every week, they get the feel, the confidence must go up, and he will even be a better player. I think we've got a lot more to see from him. And we won't see it if he's sitting on the bench for not 85 minutes every week. I want to really see him go for it. I really do. I want the manager to have the confidence to not bring him just off the bench to start with him, because he's got it all. He really has. He really, really has. He's that attacking extra that we need, but we don't seem to have, especially when the forwards are not firing. Let's face it. This is the worst performance of our forwards for a period of time that I can remember in this current squad, the last 4 or 5 years I can remember. We've been this forward line really, individually and as a team, haven't been doing it, have they? It's just so this, and it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the team. And really, Eze got us out of it because, as you say, Neil, that they could have scored another one. They deserved to be level. It wasn't like, oh, they only scored because we gave it to them. No, they deserved to be level. And the geezer had a little bit to do even through the back part, the bad back pass. He still had a little bit to do. Yes, the keeper should have done better, but he still done well. It wasn't like on the line and tapped it in. He had a lot to do, and some of their attacking play I thought was superb. I mean, sometimes I know they're nowhere near on the level of us, but they showed more confidence going forward than we did, some of their forwards, and that's disappointing.
Not bad for an ex-farmer, was it, Melvyn?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah, no, great points. And we saw the game out, won it 2-1 in the end. And like you said, Neil, classic FA Cup tie. But just before we do man of the match and go into the Leverkusen game, I just got 2 questions for you both. I'll start with you, Neil. Lost Calafiori and Trossard to injury during this game. Obviously, Calafiori's since come back. Trossard might come back today. We don't know. Where do you stand on these 2 players currently, Neil? Because I know we love them both, but do we see each other, enough times, them 2 on the pitch? Because for me, I'm looking at Calafiori, and I know people always have a bit of a ding dong with me and Calafiori because they think I hate him. I have to keep justifying myself that I don't hate the guy, but I do feel he is slightly creeping into that territory of Tomiyasu, in that you're an amazing player, but you're just not fit enough, my friend. I don't see you enough time. And then Trossard, we mentioned it the last couple of weeks, Neil. I haven't seen this guy wane in terms of his ability for a very, very long time.
I'll be very quick. I think with Calafiori, I think it's if anyone's kind of coming to see him or seeing him for the first time and seeing a cameo of him play now in a snapshot, it's almost as if they're probably thinking, why is he in the team when you've got a player like Hitachi there? Why is he getting a chance? Because I'm not saying he looks disinterested. I just don't think he's been playing consistently enough to have that flow. And the reason he's not playing consistent enough is because he keeps getting injured. It is becoming a worry for me, 100%. And I love the guy. I really do. I know he can be crazy. I know he can be a bit of a maverick, but he can also be such a dangerous asset as well to us. And and he can defend. It's not like he can't defend. He's a big, strong lad. But at the moment, I think he's just lost his touch. Even when he will play, because he will still get another chance. Because again, we need to stretch our squad. I think because he's not been consistent because of his injuries, it's a worry. And I don't know. I don't want him to go, but it's likely that when you look at a player like Hitachi, he's just so good. It's like you've been saying, James, and I agree with you. The last few games, he's player of the season for me. He's so solid. We're gonna confirm his sale if we already haven't done so very soon, and I think he's a starter for me now. I really believe that. So it's a question of, is Calafiori going to be a player that's going to be happy as a bit part player even when he is fit? But it's his fitness which is a question. Trossard, I don't know what's happened to him because he was one of the more. I know, Melvyn, you're right. I think the forward lineup has been very, very inconsistent, collectively and individually. But he was one that would at least try. I always felt that he would give it a go. And now I'm not even seeing that from him. And to be fair, if I had a choice or you gave me a choice, Martinelli or Trossard, I'd be picking Martinelli every time at the moment. And that's coming from someone who's been saying Martinelli has been doing a lot better in the Champions League games than he has in the Prem. And I think Trossard, but, we can even shuffle players and even have another option there if neither of them are going to start. So I think for me, Trossard has fallen off the cliff a little bit, and I'm not quite sure what the reason is, but hopefully he gets it back soon because I do like him a lot.
Yeah, and you made the point there about Nkapie, Neil, and I know you, Mike, and Nick touched on it on Monday, but there was that bit right near the end where he absolutely sprinted to tackle the guy, and it was like, he's offside. Everyone else knew that he was, but Nkapie was like, I'm doing it anyway. He's like, I can't take risks, boys. You don't know, obviously there is VAR in this stage of the competition, even for the lower league sides. But he went, I'm not taking the risk, boys. I'm going to get him and I'm going to tackle him anyway. But yeah, Melvyn, touching on what I asked there with Neil with Trossard and Calafiori, I'll throw to you the other question. We had to bring Saka, Eze and Timber and Hincapié on here against which is inferior opposition to see a game out. Did you think that Arteta backing the youngsters from the off and then putting youngsters in a system that we've not played in for a very, very long time, which was 3-4-3, was that brave management from Arteta, or do you think it was an unnecessary risk that nearly cost us to go out?
No, I thought it was brave. It wasn't the system. No, it's brave. Very brave, and happy with that. Happy to see that. No, really, and also his subs were good. I mean, it made a difference. He's done that the last few games, actually. His substitutions have been positive. Playing different systems. Listen, at the end of the day, the ball's at your feet. You beat your play. You put your passes in. You score your goals. You mustn't overthink it. Really, not going to overthink that. I mean, he's not played a lot for a salmon anyway, so whatever system we play, it shouldn't bother him. I mean, I'm sure they play different systems. They play like mirror football down the sides with us, I should imagine. So I'm sure they've played that in the lower, in the younger teams. No, to go to about Calafiore, what a shame, because he's a buccaneer, isn't he? The buccaneer type footballer, and he's so good. I mean, he could play. I've said he could play in midfield on the left-hand side. He'd win every tackle. He'd make the ball, bring the ball forward very fast. No messing around. He's if it is injury that's been why his form isn't as good. Hopefully, it is injury, and that will recover perfectly. But you get certain. It's like buying a dodgy car, isn't it? The brakes go, and then all of a sudden something else goes, and something. Hopefully, it's just early, just a bit unlucky on that, because he is a fabulous player. He's effective and he's very good to watch as well. So, and Trossard, his performances. I know you've been a big fan, Neil, for some time, and rightly so. But his performances are undefendable at the moment. Really is. I'm not saying he's not trying. He just seems to be making every wrong decision. And what I've always said about Trossard, he scored some fabulous goals for us, by the way, so let's not forget that. But I hate it when he comes back into our half. He seems to want to I panic when he gets the ball in our half, because he comes backwards and he loses possession. He even tries to dribble outside our box, which is no one should ever do that, especially if you're not a defender, because if you do make a slight mistake, you can't get straight back in, and he's not the biggest of players, so he does. I don't like that, but he's not been doing it, and I think that if we're going on to the next game with Martinelli, really, I thought Martinelli against in the midweek is one of his worst games he played for us, but we go into that, so there's not the answer there.
No, but just quickly, just to wrap Mansfield up. Man of the match, really easy. I'm guessing it's probably going to be yeses all the way round. But yeah, it has to be Max Dowman for me. I thought he was superb on the day. He got 82% on his passing, and then he created two big chances. And the big one, especially the Gabriel Jesus one, could have easily got him an assist. But yeah, he had some great chances to score himself. But like you said, Melvyn, more time, and his finishing will improve. But yeah, Jesus in that game, I think my dad summed him up. He said he didn't know whether to scratch his watch or wind his arse. That's how he played, in my dad's opinion. So, yeah, and I agree with him on that one. But yeah, going on to Bayern Leverkusen in midweek, a real gritty, horrible European away night, this one for Arsenal. Reverted to a familiar team for the Champions League. And Arsenal, I thought, started really well here. 2 minutes into the game, and their captain, Andrich, made a rugby tackle on Victor Gyökeres, who actually rolled him really well. It looked as though he was going to bear down on goal if he didn't get rugby tackled. Got a booking for that one. But then 2.5 minutes later, I think this is a sending off for me on Gyökeres when he throws the elbow in. And that sort of, for me, set the tone for the game. I thought it was very cautious from both teams here. Got a bit technical, got a bit chess-like for a good period. And then on the 19th minute, we had a really good chance. Martinelli rattled the bar. It was a good move. David Raya started it off, gave it to Saka. Saka gave it to Timber. Eze dummied it like against Tottenham. And you're thinking, is Gyökeres going to do like Tottenham and smash it? but no, he lays it off to Martinelli, and it just rattled the bar. Sort of ended the first half there. Nothing really happened, but the big other talking point that I want to bring up after that was just before the end of the half. Arsenal got a 4-on-2 situation on the breakaway, and just Bukayo Saka, and it weren't his night. And I know we're going to touch on him a bit more later, but I'll go to you first, Melvyn. You're talking about Trossard there and the wrong decision. Just what was Saka thinking here when we had 4-on-2? I couldn't believe that he thought he could take 3 men on. He's not beat a man like that for a long time. He beats them coming in. He never goes round. He never goes for put. So I couldn't believe what he was trying to do here, and you could see from the players how frustrated they were, because like I said, though, we were 4-on-2 there.
It was, I mean, his game overall was poor. I mean, he did, if you notice, few times, where he got right close to the defender, and you think, well, he's going to lay it off or try and go round him. So what does he do? He tries to cross it with the guy's like 3.5 inches away, and it's got to be a block. There's no way you can get across him. And I'm thinking, well, you're not going to get that in. Oh no, yeah, it was poised. I don't know what it is with him. He's definitely, like a lot of our forwards, is, as I say, off the top. You know, the chart goes up, and all of a sudden it's come down a bit. Let's hope he can rally again, because we need him. We do need him, and if he's not going to do it, then Madueke's got to be the guy. That was very disappointing. With 4 against 2, I thought, this is it. I mean, what teams won't score 4 against 2, or at least make the goalkeeper do? We didn't make the goalkeeper do anything, did we? It's like, I think it was like poof. That was it. Gone. Great chance. Gone. Yeah, very disappointing with him. But just go back to what you said before, James. A lot of our games, the first 10, 15 minutes, we're flying, we're beating, oh, this is good. I'm sitting there going, you know what? We can get a 2 or 3 here. And all of a sudden, it drops off, and we never get back into 2nd or 3rd gear again. Like we seem to do that so many times. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I know. It's really, really annoying. But again, Neil, like you said, going back to what you said earlier about scoring first thing or right before, Leverkusen, second half, right from the kickoff. And Arteta mentioned it. He said, I showed him, we went through this 3 times, how they do kickoffs and everything. Saka, I hate to lay into him, completely sleeping. They go through on the breakaway. David Raya makes a brilliant save, like he has done all season. You know, it's another fantastic save from him. But the resulting corner, and it's Andrich, who, you know, lucky to still be on the pitch, but they've Arsenal'd Arsenal, haven't they, on the set piece? And the defending from us here, by the way, is absolutely shocking. I'll quickly go into this, Neil, before I ask what you think. But Timber, if you watch it, is left 2 against 1. And his 2 are, funny enough, the guy who scores it, and it's also Tap Sober, who's their other gigantic centre-half. Now, I know how good Timber is in the air. I've always said his aerial ability for his size is incredible. However, he's never winning a grabbing match against either of them 2 players. Secondly, after that, because that allowed the guy to peel off him and score. But secondly to that, all our tall and physical players that are brilliant in the air, they're either on the other post or they're right in the centre. Should have swapped it. Should have gone, hang on a sec, that's a physical mismatch. You know, they got to call that. They got to see that and go, swap that over, because he's going to smash you out the way and everything. And just, we just left all the physically unopposing players to defend it. And it was just a complete mismatch. I mean, Eze gets thrown to the floor with ease, because he's not going to win that physical battle as well. And it's the first time all season that we've gone behind in the Champions League, Neil. What did you think? Were you the same? Were you just like, well, hang on a sec, wow, what a set piece, you know? But at the same point, why have we set up like that? Why are our players like that?
I was just so dejected anyway from our performance from the first half, to be honest. And when I saw that go in so quickly, I actually wasn't surprised. I'll be honest with you. It's disappointing, because we've done as good as our defence has been in the Prem, but it hasn't been so much of late. In the Champions League, it's been immaculate, and this is so out of character. Our defence has been when we talk a lot about our set piece goals and what the coach has done for that, but equally, especially at the beginning of the season or the first half of the season, we've been equally, I think, as good defending as well, because it's not just about the attacking set pieces, it's how we set up to defend them. And that is so out of character. I don't know if it's because it was so near the start and the players just weren't with it, and they should be, by the way. How many times have I said you got to be on it from second one till the final whistle? But whether it was because it was, or were they shocked? They thought, oh God, the boss told us about how they kick off, and look, we've gone and done exactly what he didn't want us to do. And maybe that had just messed with their minds for those few seconds, and they just didn't get themselves in position correctly. I don't know what it was, but all I can say, I can't answer the reason for what it was, but it was very out of character, and yeah, a total mismatch. You can't. Timber is deceptively strong. He's like one of those, I'd say, middleweight boxers of old, one of those really good middleweight boxers of old. I don't watch boxing anymore. I think it's not what it used to be, but I'm talking about the 80s and the early 90s, and maybe this, and of course the 70s as well. But I remember the golden era for me of middle-aged boxers, and he reminds me so much of that. He's deceptively strong, and we know he is, and we know that he can mix it up with the best. But two giants like that, you can't. That's just not right. It's not fair. You know, it's like, I remember when I used to get bullied at school, you know, they'd two guys on either side of me frame my bag and I could never reach it because I was always short anyway. And it reminds me of that. You're a mismatch. There's nothing you can do about it. And I think that why was that all? But again, I think it was because they were shocked by that initial kickoff. They were disorientated. They weren't ready. It's not excusable, by the way, because they're professionals. Bang, 1-0. And I thought from there, we don't even look like scoring one goal, let alone two. This is going to be a hard day or a hard night.
Yeah, you make a great point there, Neil. And Melvyn, Arsenal started to, huff and puff a bit, and Arteta made two bold calls. He withdrew Saka for Madueke, and he brought Havertz on for Gyökeres. And like you said, Madueke, brilliant for me when he come on. I thought he really just instantaneously, you could see, I'm like, well, he's given us a bit of life that we didn't have during that game when Saka was there. But yeah, Timber had a great chance with a header that he could have probably done better with before we come into the bit of the controversial time again. As always with us, is always a controversial topic each week, it seems, every time that we speak to each other. But yeah, Madueke wins the penalty. How was the penalty for you, Melvyn? I've watched it back many a time, and I think very lucky. But at the same point, I think, look, that late in a game, if you slide like that, silly, like that defender did, I think you're asking for trouble in a way. I really do.
I've given up trying to work out if these are handball or penalties anymore. I don't know. I've lost the code. There must be a special code somewhere you use. I think we were fortunate to get it. It all depends what commentator you speak to, whether it's a penalty or not, be honest with you. So, yeah, we were fortunate. I'll put my hands up. But they were fortunate to have the geezer on the pitch in the first place who scored the goal. So I'm taking that 1-0, all right? I'm taking that.
Yeah, you had that as well. Their midfielder, Palacios, in the first half, he went quite high on Martinelli, and the ref went, hey, no more of that. That's, you shouldn't be doing that. And then in the second half, he did the exact same foul on Zubamendi, if not even a little bit higher and worse, and he booked him. And I'm like, well, why weren't that a booking in the first half then, when he's done exactly the same to Martin? So that sort of irked me. That's where I was like, yeah, we're even now then, because you've had two get away there, and we've obviously had this one, and yeah, we've scored it. But yeah, Neil, what about you? What say you? Did you think penalty or not penalty?
I thought it was soft. I think if it had been on us, I'd have been a little bit upset. That's the way I look at it. When I look at penalty decisions, either way, I'll play devil's advocate and think, well, what would we think about that if it was against us rather than for us? I probably would have been annoyed. However, there is a touch, no matter how soft it is, and they're applying the letter of the law. I'm not complaining. God, I'm not complaining. But because we weren't getting a goal from any other avenue, let's be honest. As good as Madueke was, I just couldn't see where the goal was coming from. So, and you know what? Let me just give credit to Kai just for a second here. I love him, by the way, and I think he's class. He's class. But I love the fact when he scored against Chelsea, he doesn't care because they treated him so bad, right? However, when he scores against that team, who must say, applause to them, they gave him such a great introduction. I think at the start of the match, they had his picture up in the stands and all sorts of stuff going on. Real tributes. They love him to bits. They absolutely love him to bits. I think they probably would have been disappointed with him taking the penalty. But having said that, his celebration or non-celebration was class, utter class. And this is what I felt like. This is two fingers up at Chelsea. Like I'll celebrate against you lot, but I'm not going to celebrate against them. And I love that. I love that about him. And I feel that he was very brave to take the penalty as well. Really brave, and he took it. And thank goodness for that.
Go for it, Melvyn.
I'm just going to say Chelsea are a very, very wealthy club, one of the richest in the world. But it proves something. You can't buy class.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. And it was funny because they were talking during the game on the commentary about how Rudi Voller said that he's the greatest player that's ever played for Bayern Leverkusen. And I went, well, he weren't bad himself. I mean, Michael Ballack, before he went to Chelsea, I remember Michael Ballack when he was at Leverkusen. What a player he was, by the way. I know throwing it back to the 90s and 2000s, but yeah, he was a fantastic. So I'm like, he's the best that's ever played for Leverkusen. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. But yeah, I know we're pressed for time, so I'm trying to speed through as quickly as I can here. But yeah, on the subbing of Bukayo Saka, Neil, I'll come to you first here. He was obviously the captain on the day, and he's the talisman, and he's been the saviour of this side so often. But considering Noni Madueke come on and made such a difference, do you feel yourself, and maybe for Arteta as well, that we're moving on from Saka being indispensable, regardless of the circumstances, and his wage and his star player status, it doesn't matter. When you're looking at the game and you need to be tactically pragmatic, do you think that's good from? Because I looked at him and thought, Arteta's seeing. Because beforehand, he was like, I'm not subbing him. He's Saka. We always said he can have as bad as a game as anything, but he might whip in a corner near the end. He might score a penalty. He might score. I think he's getting a lot colder now, Arteta, and going, if I don't like what I'm seeing, I'm swapping. And I think that's progress. But what say you?
Just before I correct, if you two want to carry on,
especially when it comes to Saka, by the way, sorry, especially when it comes to Saka.
No. I want to talk about that. But look, don't rush the show. If I need to go off, I'll drop off. You two can carry on. Please don't do that. Yeah, I might be able to stay on for a little longer anyway. So let's don't rush. Please don't do that, James. It's not fair on either of you or the channel. So just quickly, where do I begin? You remember Ozil? Wenger would never drop him because he was the talisman, because he was our highest ever player earner. I'm sorry. For me, I don't care. I think this is one. Look, there's a lot about Mourinho that I could sit here and say I could not stand about the guy. I don't like, I disliked him, blah, blah, blah. But one thing I always respected Mourinho of doing is he didn't care who you were. If you had a bad game, you were not playing in the next one. And I agree with that. I think, do you know what? What did I say at the start of this season? I said, we have got a fourth chance to win this league. We've come runners up 3 in a row. We play our best players on form. I don't care who you are. We've got the squad big enough to do that now. And I'm sorry, Mr. Saka, you are one of them. I don't know what's happened to him, whether it's the wage that's got to his head. I'd like to think he's not that kind of person. I don't think he is. But you've got to start asking questions as a fan. We invest time, money, emotion, all sorts of stuff into the club. We at least have we have the right to ask questions, even if it's amongst ourselves. We have the right. So I don't want anyone saying, "Oh, that's not fair. You're talking about Saka like that." Saka has been our star boy. Saka has been our star man. He has pulled us out of so many problems, and he has been the lifeblood of this club. No question about it. However, recently he's not been playing. For me, there's 2 things that come to mind. Whether it's the wage, whether it's got to his head, I'm not so sure. Also, ever since Gyökeres has come along, he hasn't been the same. I don't know if there's something going on between the two of them, but they don't seem to be getting along. That's what, just as an observer, I could be completely wrong about that, but there seems to be some. There's just something not right there. They're not in harmony for me, and I think that's affecting the whole of the front line because we are struggling at the front, and it's heartbreaking to see players like Gabriel get smashed in the chin, taking one for the team, and then the attackers are bereft, and they're not pushing on from that, saying, God, he's willing to die for us, and yet we're as inept as this. It's ridiculous. Saka at the moment is so off it. I'm sorry, he doesn't play, in my opinion, and I agree with Arteta. And how many times have I said right from the start of the season, James, you know this, how much I rate Madueke. I agree with Melvyn. He can be sometimes he can put something so brilliant into the box, and other times it's so far off, it's ridiculous. But consistently, he makes defenders worry. He drives at them. He's got no fear. His strength. He can get past them. This is where I think, because I've seen some people comparing with Pepe. No, it's not. Pepe was predictable, and he was trying to get past 3 or 4 players, and he could never do it. So predictable every single time. Madueke does get past the players. He manages to get a cross in. Whether it's the right cross or the wrong cross, it doesn't matter. He still does that. And I think he's our most enterprising forward there is. I would start Madueke today. I would start Madueke going forward until Saka sorts himself out, because he's so far removed from the player we knew. I'm sorry, mate. You are not even worth 150,000 a week at the moment, the way you're playing. And I don't care that I'm saying that, because that's how I feel.
Yeah. And Melvyn, Neil makes a great point there about Madueke, and people obviously, like you said there, Neil, comparing him to Pepe. I think Pepe at times, and I love Nicolas Pepe, by the way. I loved him. But I think Pepe sometimes was just like, I'm going to do something here for me. Like, he was a bit of a showman. Whereas Madueke, I feel, is like, no, everything I'm doing is to help the team. It's not. I'm not trying to, impress anyone that's out in the crowd. I don't care if the Daily Mirror or whatever give me a 10 on my score at the end of the game. I'm trying to win stuff for Arsenal, with Arsenal, and help this team. So yeah, I agree with you on that one there, Neil. But yeah, Melvyn, I know we touched on it a bit earlier, but have you got anything else there you want to say about Saka? And like I throw to Neil as well,
No.
do you feel Arteta? Do you think Arteta's learned? Because I think that's a big bit of progress from him to go. You're coming off now.
It's a big call for him, isn't it? I mean, he's not that he probably cares that much, but he's got the wrath of the fans. Some certain fans, you can't do that to Saka, and the fans will, oh my God, what's he doing at manager? Oh, another bad decision. So he might incur the wrath of certain fans, but he's doing it for the performance of the team, and it proved it the other day. It was a very, very good call, and it's good to see that. And I think we spoke about the other day, James, that really against Tottenham away, when we beat them 4-1, I keep mentioning that score, by the way, he could have had 4 goals, Saka. The old Saka would have had 4 goals. Half the old Saka would have had 4 goals. And why no one speaks about it is because we beat Spurs 4-1. Eze got a couple. Gyökeres scored that great goal, and we're buzzing. We're buzzing. We'll score 2 goals, but we're buzzing, absolutely buzzing. And had the things got against us a little bit, and we drew the game for whatever reason, a bit of bad luck, people would be looking at it as 4 chances and go, you know what, he cost us the game, big time. And they weren't difficult chances, some of them, 1-on-1s, which he could have done blindfold a year or so ago. So let's hope that, I don't know what it is with him. I don't know what it is. Is it a coincidence he gets this big rise? I think he wasn't playing that particularly well before the rise, to be honest with you. So I don't think it's necessarily the money. It's just that he's been put on this pedestal now, and perhaps he has made it. Let's face it, he has made it. And sometimes you want a bit of hunger. I hope the hunger hasn't gone.
Yeah. Can I just quickly say?
Yeah, of course.
Now, just to play a bit of devil's advocate, I think one thing we've all got to remember, and I know I might be contradicting what I said earlier, because they're all professionals and they're all at a very, very, elite level of play and ability. But he is still a very young man, and maybe what Melvyn touched on there about is it all become a bit all too much all of a sudden, and it's become all overwhelming? I don't know. But all I will say is another thing that annoyed me, and I don't want to get on his back, but it looks like I am. He was made captain for the day as well. That wasn't by the most far removed captain's performance I've seen for a long time. That's the other thing. You're captain of this prestigious club playing in the Champions League, arguably the best club competition in the world, and that's the performance you give. It's not good enough. And Melvyn, do you know what? I never thought of that. That's such a great point about the Spurs game, because we didn't really think about it because we won 4-1. But actually, he's right. Saka could have scored 3 or 4, at least 2 minimum. So I don't know.
He had a great chance at Mansfield when he come on. And he hit it straight at the keeper as well. He hit it straight at him, didn't he?
Yeah. Right. Great point. Yeah. It doesn't. Something's not right. And I'm sorry if we. You know what? You guys have always said it, and you've said it so well. The guys in the purely chat. We can't afford to carry luxury players at the moment. Sorry. And is Saka becoming a luxury player? I don't know, but we can't afford to carry them. We are going for 4 titles, 4 cups here, and we need everyone.
Definitely. And another point I want to make as well, and I've got some graphics here to obviously demonstrate this also. So apologies for the audio listeners. I will explain what I'm putting up on the screen and everything else for you guys, and the visually impaired as well. I cater to everybody, as always. But yeah, for me at the moment, Martin Zubimendi, he's played too many games for me. I think his legs are waning, and I think teams are realising this. And what I'll emphasize this with is here, I've got a little graphic here. So here's the first one. This is Declan Rice's heat map for the game against Leverkusen. Now, obviously, the arrow's indicating where the goal is, and that's for both halves. But if you can see here, look at those touches. Declan Rice loves being on the edge of that box, 1-2s, taking shots or everything. Look primarily where the most red is. It's defending in that little left space, and it's basically right in front of the back 4. Now, if you're making Declan Rice have to come back in and defend, he can't be effective. Now, that's credit to how Leverkusen set up, but also I think teams are seeing Zubimendi as a weak link, and they're making Declan Rice go back. So there's the first one. But second to that, here's Eze's. And look, he's basically got nothing in or on the edge of the box, and he's going deeper as well. And like you mentioned earlier with Trossard, Melvyn, I don't necessarily think Eze's a bad footballer, but again, I don't want Eze touching the ball on the edge of our box. I don't want him there. That's not what we bought. We didn't spend £65 million or whatever it was on Eze to go and help whoever the right back is or whoever the centre backs are on the day. So to me, that's something that we really need to take a look at, because I think he's definitely been way overplayed, Zubimendi, for my liking. And I think teams are looking at that and going, there's something there. If we can press him, because by pressing him, the other players go, well, we're going to have to go back to support him. Oh, yeah, he's got so annoyed with it, he's walked off.
You got to clip that.
He agreed so much. He stormed off.
James, please clip that.
You've upset me. No, my phone was going off. Sorry. My phone was going off.
Zubimendi was ringing. He was ringing, going, "Why are you talking about me?"
Yeah, I got this newish phone. So anyway, it might go off again. Let me put the settings on to silent. Hold on, I should have done that before.
No, it's brilliant. It makes it a better show. It's good.
Please turn that into a short. It's going to be hilarious.
I will.
Please.
I'll try. I'll get it clipped. I promise. But yeah, just on that one, guys. Whoever wants to take the floor on Zubimendi here, and obviously what I showed.
No, we're going.
Right, Zubimendi. Perhaps he likes playing in the sunshine, because since the weather's turned bad, he hasn't had a decent game. Has he been overplayed? Yes. He seems to have lost a bit of confidence. Yes. Whereabout he was too quick for the players, even the players were coming in to tackle, just moving away. And they never got near him. Now they're getting near him and they're hitting him, and he don't like it. He's not the player we bought, and I think, and it might have been that Norgard perhaps should have been played a lot more in the last few months to take the pressure off of him, because Zubimendi has definitely been overplayed. All right, and I think that in certain games Norgard will be better than him because he's got the stature. He's taller, he's stronger, he's got this thing about him, Norgard, which I like. I mean, we may not see him next season, I don't know, but there was no reason not to. For the job that he was doing, and he was doing it very well, Zubimendi, Norgard could have done that job, if not better, in front of the back four to give our other midfielders the chance to go forward a bit more. So that was disappointing, but it really makes a difference when he's playing. Either like the metronome, boom, 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 and he hasn't been doing that for ages now. You see, most of his passes now are sideways or backwards. Well, they weren't. He was like trying to look for them. He was not even looking now for the forward pass. So we've got so many players not playing well, and yet we are where we are. So I can't work it out.
Yeah, no, great point. And just quickly, man of the match for that one again. I think it's going to be 3 all around. We're all going to agree. Noni Madueke for me.
100%.
Just wouldn't have got anything if it weren't for him, in my opinion. Like we've discussed. So easily Madueke. But just go on, Melvyn.
If you go the other way, it was a very disappointing performance. I think we touched on it in the Masnfield game. We mentioned Martinelli. He got the ball and he didn't want to pass it to anyone. He was just running with it up and down. He was like with that old battery advert with a little bunny rabbit. He was trying to do that, and it was release the ball, mate. You've beaten the back 3 or 4 times, not gone past him, gone by him, going the wrong way. Give it. He's just, and I think he should have done better with the chance he had. That could have changed everything. I'm not complaining. 1-1 away from home in the European Cup tie, the European Championship League is fantastic. But
I agree with that, Melvyn, and also just what you just touched on there. Look at the other results, and people are going, "Yeah, but you got the easiest team, and you got the." Hang on a minute. For years in the Champions League, we always got the hardest teams. Every single blooming year that Wenger, exactly, Melvyn. Wenger would do an amazing job getting us into the Champions League with literally nothing to spend, no money to spend. Pep Guardiola, no money to spend. Teams like all these rich teams now. We was doing it on a budget and getting us consistently in the Champions League. And every single year we'd be drawn against probably the hardest teams or the informed teams. But we get arguably the weaker team away. We managed to get a draw. They get smashed to pieces, but the focus is still on us. We're the one. Oh, look, they've drawn. It's ridiculous. It really makes me sick all the time.
James is good for stats. James is very good for stats, and he probably could look this up. But we played Bayern Munich and Barcelona so many times, and I reckon James got to look this up. Actually, some of the times we played them, I'm convinced they were already knocked out. They just kept putting back in to play us.
It probably was. There was one other quick point. I know I'm now extending the show, but oh god, now I've lost my train of thought. If it comes back to me, I'll quickly chime in. Sorry, I forgot.
No, you make great points because last season we beat not Bayern Munich. Sorry, we beat Real Madrid over 2 legs. Oh no, they're the worst Real Madrid. They're rubbish, Real Madrid, and yet Real Madrid beat Man City this way. Oh, they had no Mbappe and no Bellingham. They played both games against Arsenal, and we still beat it. And I'm sorry.
Yes, of
course.
I'm
sorry. They didn't have a 19-year-old at left back, and they didn't have Kivior at centre back either. Man City. You had your Guehi, you had all your shiny toys, and you still got pumped. So swivel, Man City.
Yeah, well said.
Swivel.
Well said.
I'm like, they're the best side in the world now, Neil.
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are. That was a quick point I was going to make. Just very, very quickly. I'll be as quick as I can. Looking at the heat maps, they were great, by the way. Brilliant graphics. Well done, James. Really lovely to see that. And my worry is Rice.
I'm coming for Neville's job, mate. I'm coming.
Yeah, do it. Go for it. Because please, I'd love that. Rice is so integral to everything that we're going to achieve this season. We cannot afford to lose him, even for one match. I really believe this. And if he's been made to work extra hard, because one of the other guys is not able to do it at the moment. How many times have I been saying, give Norgard more minutes, for goodness sake? Melvyn is spot on. He will be able to slot into that position. We have got a ready-made player there, Arteta. Play him. I want to see him start today. I don't care. Zubimendi should just be given a rest at the moment, because I think he's been played off the park. He really has. Because then that will help Rice and hopefully let him be able to play to his strengths. When, again, we're not playing, let alone players to play to their strengths. Same with Trossard and Eze. You picked up on there brilliantly there, Melvyn and James. What did I say? A couple of 2-3 podcasts running now. I know attackers have got to do their defensive duties, but they're supposed to be attackers. Let the defenders are supposed to be defending. The attackers are supposed to be attacking. We want to see the heat maps readjust to how they should be. This is why at the moment we are so inept up front and up top. Get that sorted, Arteta, others. And you're right, Melvyn. Somehow we're still where we are. But how can we really sustain till the end of the season? We can't. I'm sorry, we can't get away with the draw in the League Cup final. We have to win. So attackers, do your thing.
Yeah. And as much as people might want to disagree, I think right now at the moment, this team's screaming for Odegaard. I think he's only played 13 games in the league this season. And we're like, nearly 31 games into it. And he's tied for the most assists still. I'm like, he's still got the most assists. Wow. Yeah, I think him, Timber, Rice, and I think it might be Trossard are all tied on 5. And I'm like, but he's played how many less minutes, how many less games? So it just shows you how vital that. And then people can deny it all they want, but I'm like, look, he is still got that little bit of quality that sadly some of them lack. But yeah, you make a great point there, Neil, in terms of today's game, Everton. 5:30, I believe, live on the box or in person if you're going. I think, Melvyn, you might be there today. I'm sure of it.
I'm going today.
Yeah. So here's the lineup that I've picked, and I want changes. So I've gone for obviously Raya staying in goal. I think Ben White is now fit, so put him. Timber needs a rest for me, so put White in. Saliba and Gabriel. Now you could take one or two of them out. You could put Mosquera in, but I think he's going to stick with those because he's not going to change too much. Calafiori is fit, so I would like Nkapie to get a rest because he's first choice for me now. I don't mind even Lewis Skelly playing at left back today. I saw the reports that he's gone to Arteta about the amount of time that he's been playing and he's not happy. And Arteta said, God, he's knocking on the door and I've got to try and find a way. But there was that rumour as well about Man United offering 40 million for him in the summer, Lewis Skelly. I'm like, as much as I don't want him to go, 40 million quid for Lewis Skelly. It's a bit of a bit enticing. Like you, Neil, Norgard today, please, instead of Zubimendi. Please. Can we give him a rest, please? I think Norgard's only played 57 minutes in the Premier League this season. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Rice and Eze, I think he's going to keep in. And then Martinelli, I still don't know what Trossard was like, so I kept Martinelli in there. But yeah, I'm the same with you guys. Madwecki, please. And Kai Havertz for me, because I think Gyökeres needs to be sat down as well. What say you guys?
Quick. So why is Timber injured?
No, but I think Timber, he's just played too many times for me,
right.
Neil.
Okay, that's fine.
I
just got scared.
You got to sit him out. You got to sit him out.
No, I just got scared. I thought, oh my God, is he? So no, that's fine. I've got to say, James, I think you're spot on. I think recently they've always been good, but you've been spot on with the team selections, right? I can't argue with any of that. I like it. I really like that. It's perfect for me.
Yeah, Melvyn.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a good team. I like that. I'm not. I didn't know that White was available, but I wouldn't have White at right back and MLS at left back. I wouldn't have 2 new fullbacks. I wouldn't. I don't think we can take a risk on MLS at the moment. I really don't. Especially, every game's so important. Drives you mad, doesn't it? But, no, it's a good team. Let's hope we can do it, eh? Oh, yeah. We can do it, eh?
And just quickly, I'll press you both for predictions. I'll go for you first, Melvyn.
2-1 to us. 2-1 to us.
Yeah, nice. And Neil?
I need to see a clean sheet again. I'm going 2-0. 2-0, and I'd love to see Kai score. 2-0.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same as Melvyn, and I'm gonna go for 2-1. And then to be pressed on a scorer, I want a forward, so let's go Madwecky. I want to see forward scoring. I don't want corners and set pieces, but yeah, they're the second best away team in the league next to us. And Moisey he'll want something today against Arteta. You can just tell. So Hente's chimed in 1-0 to the Arsenal. I'll take it. I'll take another 6 or 7 1-0s to the Arsenal for the rest of the season. Hente, if you can guarantee it over there. But yeah, as always. Where can everybody find you if they want to hear more, Melvyn? Where can you be found?
Arsenal above all. Remember it this time, and on this channel, and obviously on my Twitter account.
Brilliant. And Neil, yourself?
Yeah, same. Michael's Arsenal above all. Jack's purely, and then your good self, James. Having honour to be here, and thank you for having me on. And always a pleasure to share the panel with Melvyn, the Godfather, as I call him. So yeah,
yeah, and no, thank you everybody that's come along. Since these guys have been on with me, it's really, really grown and gone up. So yeah, really appreciate that. In terms of the chat, there wasn't much football today other than Hente. Had to ban a lot of them again. We're a football channel, so we not necessarily clean football channel. Me, not speaking for you two guys. You two guys are very mature compared to myself. But yeah, if you want to ask me questions about my body parts and what have you, that is my other channel on a completely different platform. So, but you have to pay me £15 a month to get on that one. That's not a free one, I'm afraid. So, I think they get mixed up. I think they see that I put on Twitter and everything, I'm going live, and they get all excited thinking it's on the blue and white. It's not. I'm on the clean channel. So, but yeah, no, thank you anyway. At any time, it's nice that people want to talk about that with me. I'm very, very grateful. I am comfortable with who I am and my sexuality. But no, this is purely football. The only bollocks we talk is the bollocks that we play. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Take care and enjoy the game. I'll see you soon. Also, I forgot. Shout out to the mums for tomorrow. Love your mums.
Oh, yeah,
Take care.
yeah.
oh yes.